Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Jack. This is Victor. Today we want to talk about Sportsball.
Yep.
Okay. Now here's what I'm talking about. I think he's going to try to talk about more things, and we're going to see how that goes.
Okay.
But basically, I'm talking about people who are fanatically pro college football, college basketball, NCAA, NFL, just whatever it is. Okay. I'm talking about. I've been the guy. So I'm talking about the guy who knows all the stats, who knows all the main players, who can predict the over-unders fairly well, on, what I mean? Plus
Sure.
7, minus 7, not on the zeros, you know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah.
on just the winner. So I'm going to tell you what happened with me, okay?
Okay.
Love football. I love it. And I was in the fantasy and the pools, and I was in this Survivor one, right? And it was like, you everybody pays and you sign up, right?
Okay.
But then every week the guy and it's this one's a 0-1, so it's just you predict the winner.
Okay.
There's no plus 7, minus 7. You know what I mean? And then whoever has the worst score every week gets kicked off the bottom.
Oh, wow.
And so it's going to go, but you can only have like whatever 16 people in it, or if you're doing playoffs, or just depending on how big, how many games are. Anyways, and so I did all these things, and then I'm like reading lots of books, and I'm starting to have like a stronger sense of morality.
Okay.
I'll say that's what I feel like, And I don't have any kids at the time, because this is years ago. This is back when Michael Vick was torturing dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a little bit after that though. So I start to think, okay, I sit here and watch this football. I love it. I get my snacks, and I love the ritual.
Sure.
Wait a second, and I start seeing all these things happen. There's Michael Vick. There's another black guy who I think his kid was annoying him a little bit, as if kids don't annoy you, and he threw his shoe and hit the kid in the head.
Wow.
And then there was the football player in the elevator with the girl who beat the tar out of her on the camera. And then they're all black guys in this situation, and white guys do some stuff. I'll just let you know. And I'm sitting there like, this is terrible. I can't, because whatever I'm going to do, the kid's going to do. I already know. Especially, I have all sons. They just do what I do. I don't want him to say, "Dad, buy me a little football jersey." You know what I mean? No, we're not like those people. We're not adjacent to them in any moral factor. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I'm like, I got to get away from this. Okay, so that's one argument. Okay. Now, you used to be heavy on sports, basketball.
Yeah, basketball in the 90s with the Bulls.
Okay.
And then kind of migrated from the NBA in the 2000s into football for a good 6-7 years probably.
And then what happened?
It all seemed just so pointless, and I just lost my interest completely.
Okay. Now the point I want to make for this episode, though, is that if you're doing that all, that's fine. You know what I mean? If you think that it's morally, because you might be in hockey, I'm just talking about NFL right here. Because what if you're talking about college ball and they're all honorable people? Doubt it. But I'm just saying, like, what if you have your thing?
Yeah.
Cricket. I don't know about cricket. Maybe, maybe. Women's volleyball.
WNBA maybe?
No, women's volleyball is actually a cool sport, though. I dig it. Anyway, I used to. Anyways, so my point is this. You spend so much of your life doing this. Do you know all the other things? Because I just assume you don't. Now, if you're watching this and you do know all the things, and you're right with us on a bunch of stuff, and you're learning some stuff, you're teaching us stuff in the comments, and we're literally making episodes because of your comments, because you know the things. Right. And you're also like, yeah, and I also love football. Okay, go for it, bro. You know what I mean? You're in.
Right.
But the problem is what I see is I just see millions of NPCs.
Right.
Not one of them has a political thought. Not one of them knows who the Secretary of State is. Not one of them thinks. And they're all just wearing jerseys.
Right.
They've got you.
Totally.
They've totally got you. Like, it's just disgusting to me.
Right.
And I used to be that guy. And I didn't have one political thought in my head. And I read classical literature, and I think in philosophy and aesthetics, and you know what I'm saying? Ontology and all these different things. And so that's great that I was doing that, But when you're doing philosophy, you quickly learn that there's not a lot of practicality to it. In the ethics and morality, there is in your behavior with everybody. But everybody is a philosopher in ethics. Everybody is thinking about, you don't have to read Benedict Spinoza's ethics, you know what I mean? To think, how should I treat my neighbor?
Gotcha.
It's in the music you listen to. You're either rapping along about slapping hoes and stuff and that, or you're a country song and about loving your wife and taking care of your kids. Depending on what you do, what you listen to, I mean. But what do you think about that argument about it? It's a way to pacify the masses, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm 100% in on that. It's something that in moderation can be okay. My job and all that is a very mentally draining process when I'm just working and whatnot. So at the end of the day, I need to unplug for a little bit.
Okay.
So, I watch TV 45 minutes to an hour a day, and it's just because I need to be downtime. I'm not ready to go to sleep yet, but I'm spent. But the people who are, their whole lives revolve around the MCU and, or whatever it is, or it could be video games where you just play all the time. You're doing nothing. You're just a waste of everything.
Okay. I feel you 100%. Now, let me give you a quote from the Green Book, which we have an episode on. We will produce. What am I saying? Publish that one before this one, because I left this out of this episode because I wanted to include it in here. I forgot until now. Thankfully, it's on the shelf and it's highlighted. But here's a quote. So this is the Green Book by Muammar Gaddafi.
Okay.
I'll link that. We got a couple episodes.
Yeah.
It's our villain series, whether or not Gaddafi was a villain. Spoiler, he was not. We were the villain. Mm-hmm. And the Green Book is about his direct democracy. I'll put a link in the description below. But here's a quote from it. Grandstands will disappear. Okay, here's his theory on this. Okay, I'm just going to tell you real quick. Okay? His theory is there shouldn't be professional sports.
Okay.
Because he was a direct democracy guy. The Coliseum, or what is it called? The stadium.
Yeah.
Belongs to the people. And the people should be playing in the stadium. What a tyrannical government, like, say, the United States or in Western Europe, what they want is they want you to be fat and apathetic, sit in the stands, and watch people do things that you cannot do.
Or unwilling to do, or whatever.
Right, but they've convinced you.
Yeah.
It's better to watch somebody run really fast than to run really fast. And then a decade and you never run.
Right.
2 decades, you haven't run. You haven't felt the wind on your face. Your heart hasn't raced as you're feeling the cold air. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They got you, Here's a quote. It says, however, it's a much bigger quote, but the part that's apropos is, however, those masses who are robbed of their will and dignity are reduced to mere spectators, watching another person performing what they should naturally be doing themselves.
Yeah.
So that's coming from the mind of a person who wants you to live a happy, successful life and be healthy.
Right.
Looking at people like the Sportsball people that I'm talking about, who they've attached beer to watching other people perform athletic. Like you ask the athlete, hey, we got 12 beers. Do you want them? Can't have one. You know what I mean? I got to be peak fitness. You know what I mean?
Sure. I
don't know.
I agree 100%. I remember playing, I played basketball until my ankles couldn't do it anymore. And, since then, I'm a fat dude.
Yeah.
And I've, some of it was physical limitations, but I just haven't, pushed myself like that.
And playing basketball is wonderful. In a competitive, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. And, as I have, I don't know, matured or opened my eyes more, the more I feel like I need to not only be feeding my brain, I need to be doing better with my body and all that kind of stuff. And all the time I spend doing anything like watching movies and all that kind of stuff is time I could be spent bettering myself.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Okay, so you've got to do things, all types of different things, but there's a hierarchy of things that you should be doing. Like working, like as a man, working hard to provide for your family. That's number one.
Yep.
Nothing should come in front of that. You know what I mean? Because if you don't live, you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you could, you know what I mean? You could put spirituality before that, but I say if they're starving to death,
right,
you can't. You know what I mean? And so you can put spiritual needs. You can go down the list. And my point is, do you have the things that are higher on the list? Are you far enough along in each of those things before you get to Sportsball?
Okay.
That's my argument. Sure. Now you are going to try to convince me. I don't know what his argument is here. That there should be more. We should be talking about more than just Sportsball.
Oh, no. I mean, I kind of already mentioned it already. Like with the video games and the whatever it is that's...
But what else? Hit me with the other things. Video games, okay.
Video games. I mentioned like MCU. You got to keep up with all the stuff that Disney puts out. Or
that would be phenomenally hard.
Yeah, so much drudge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically just TV / movies and video games.
Okay. Yeah, and I would say they've simplified things for you so that if you have self-discipline, it's not hard to not become trapped by television shows.
Right.
Because it used to be back in the day, it's like Monday night at 8 p.m. It's whatever, X-Files. 9 p.m. it's NYPD Blue. 10 p.m. it's, and you're just stuck. You have to be there. Somebody calls, hey, you want to come hang out and our kids could play? I'm busy. I'm busy. Now you can just stream it when you want. And as long as you're not doing an excessive amount of time.
Yeah.
Now, if we want to go the video game route, I'm going to say this, right? There's 2 different types of video gaming. There's playing video games at home and there's playing video games online.
Okay.
And I want to say they're entirely different types of things. Because if I'm playing a video game at home, right? Say me and my son are playing a video game, and we're killing Nazi zombies, we'll just say. You know what I'm saying? And okay. We'll just say, like whatever we're doing. Or Plants and Zombies if you don't like Nazi zombies. Whatever, Plants vs. Zombies, which is a new game we haven't tried yet. Anyways, it's an old game.
Yeah.
And but we're going to play it for fun. Who cares, And then you got to do something or the neighbors call and the kids come over. You just pause it. It's easy to flip off the TV. You just pause it, leave it, pause, save it, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's different from, I've talked about this in the Fortnite thing.
Right.
Where it's the 100v100 and it's like, Mom, don't talk to me. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's a different type of thing.
Right.
It's totally different. And then once you have I used to be prolific at online shooters.
Okay.
So that at the same time of day, I had the same group of people, what I mean? Right. And then we would have like a group of us, like 6 to 8 of us, but we could only have 4 in the squad at the one time. So when this one guy's like, hey guys, I got to go to the gym. And I'm like, you're a better man than me. Next person, get in. You know what I'm saying? I would literally tell him every day, you're a better man than me. That's what I would tell him. But it's so much different than playing at home. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to point that out.
Okay.
I think it's relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is just like you're saying, that list of priorities. If you're stressing out about it or you're not handling the stuff with your kids or you're prioritizing that over making yourself a better person and all that kind of stuff, it's bad. Anything is.
Let me ask you guys, and I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Say you see a family, there's a husband and a wife, 2 children, doesn't matter if they're boys or girls. It's Sunday, and they're walking as a family, and all 4 of them are wearing football jerseys. What do you think about those? Like, what's your impression? What do you think? Like, what's your thought that comes to mind when you see that family?
Well, I wouldn't count on them being knowledgeable or plugged into the world, or that is their life.
And I know appearances can be deceptive.
Sure.
But it doesn't reek of education. It doesn't reek of patriotism. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you vote or not. Thing. It's not an informed vote if you do vote.
Okay.
It's not an active. You're definitely not an activist. You don't got time for activism. You know what I mean?
Right.
A protest. I'm like, the game. You know what I mean? Wait, there's a game in D.C.? Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned this on all of our episodes, but it always reminds me of like the Colosseum in Rome, where that's the distraction. The people come, they cheer about the whatever violence is happening, and they don't realize how bad things are because they have this.
Yeah. Or the circus, the same thing.
Yeah. And all these different vices or whatever kind of fill that same role, seems like.
Yeah. And then, okay, let's add in one more element here.
Okay.
Do you remember when, I don't know if you were watching this, but in football where they put end racism in the touchdown area, or was that basketball they were doing that? Maybe both. You know about that?
I would have shut it off if I had seen it.
Right. So you're also worshiping these companies that are fantastically enormous companies, corporations, that do not have your interest. They mean, I hate white people. That's what they mean. White people don't go to colleges anymore. You know what I'm saying? Not allowed or something. That's what they mean in there.
Right.
And if I'm a white guy and I see that sign and it says, no beaners in college, I would be like, I'm turning you off. You guys are losers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if we want to talk immigration stuff, I got different standards, but treat people well. Or even Asians, they do this with the Asians, you know what I mean, on the testing. So I'm not appealing to white people, you know, I'm appealing to humans, you know?
Sure.
Don't support these terrible corporations. And maybe you have one. Like maybe the volleyball league is sick and they're all about just plugging YMCAs and just helping youth. And, cool. So in this case, I might not be talking to you.
Sure.
But okay, well, I guess that's what I got.
Okay.
So what do you all think? I mean, like, I'm interested. Do you do it in moderation? Do you think it's like, you could be honest? Who cares?
Yeah.
I used to be the guy.
Yeah.
You know, I had all the statistics and, you know, and it just, but anyways, and where do you think it falls in the hierarchy? That's very important too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's very subjective. So I'm not.
It's very.
Yeah, so I'm not actively judging you if you know like the top 10 college. Like, I'm not because I don't know where the line is.
Well, and their lives are different than your life and my life. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So maybe they have certain things that they get done through the week so that they can, on Sunday, they can do their sports ball thing. And they're not letting things go. Yeah,
I also want to add if it's, there's a question we always ask where it's like, what can I even do?
Sure.
You can do something. And if your thing is, I'm just going to do sports ball instead. Because like, I even think about the people on like Gab Social. And they're on there like religiously.
All day.
And they're like, if I could just reach one person, that's their thing.
Right.
And the thing they do is, honestly, it's pretty good. If you go on there, I can get some material. I've even direct messages people that I really like and say, hey, I'm working on an episode. I'm looking for a source for this. Remember? Yeah. That's how we got that, the info cards one with the Jewish contributions. That's how we got the whole website. Because I asked the guy for the information. He sent me the info card. And I'm like, and I'll go to the website. You know what I mean? And he was just some famous dude. All he sent was the link.
Yeah.
Well, not some famous dude. He's got thousands of followers.
Yeah.
You know.
He's Gab famous.
Gab famous. That is Gab famous.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about this episode? We won't keep you any longer, you know? We appreciate you watching. We would love to hear what you have to say, and we'll see you next time.